All right, welcome everyone to Office Hours. Thank you all for coming. Tonight is December 18th, 2025. My name is Todd Brous. Uh, let's get started. Oops, I always manage to screw that up. Please do connect with me. This is my link tree. Subscribe to my Substack and my YouTube channel. I've got 45 YouTube subscribers right now, so I've made a major milestone. So please spread this. You know how algorithms work. I mean, 45, hey, it's a number, whatever. My North Star is kind of this quote from Kareem Lakhani that the marginal cost of cognition and creativity is dropping to zero, and we need to pay attention to this because that means we can create and understand anything with AI for near $0. For those of you who don't know, I teach a class at the School of Visual Arts called AI for Creatives, Strategies for Success. Registration is now open. Class starts on February 3rd. We meet on Tuesdays from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. So please do spread the word. Take my class. I'd love it if you joined. And again, we are in the age of Anno Intelligentiae, the age of intelligence. It's not the age of AI anymore. It's the age of intelligence. For those of you interested, I do post the links to tonight's stuff on my Open Disruption website. I think is posted. Yeah, tonight's links are right here under December 18th. That is today. I already posted them. I'm proud of myself. AI, thank you for automating my life. All right, so let's get started. The big news of the week is Gemini 3 Flash, Frontier Intelligence, built for speed from coming out of Google. This is their fast model, which is smaller. Let me zoom in on this just because this is really important to look at. Just the one thing, like right off the top, is the price. It's a little bit more expensive than Gemini 2.5 Flash, the previous model, but you're looking at a model that's as smart as their Gemini 3 and 2.5 Pro in certain metrics. So you can see how they're swapping this jagged frontier of capabilities. One of the ones that again, I do a lot of coding, so the coding capabilities of Gemini 3 Flash are apparently really, really good, and that's one of the places where I'm going to be spending a lot of time. So Gemini 3 Pro, Gemini 3 Flash. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Yeah, $1 million price per million tokens, assuming a 5-to-1 input output token ratio. So you got this massive curve here, and this is the LM Arena ELO score for text. So you're dealing with a really good model that's relatively cheap. Um, Always good to see. Let me go back. Okay, maybe not. There we go. What else do they have in here? Um, just comparisons of their thinking capabilities, uh, all sorts of fun stuff. Vibe code and app. They've got a bunch of demos of this. So please definitely take a look at this. It is absolutely one of the new state-of-the-art models. Um, and you can play with it in Google's AI Studio. So go to aistudio.google.com and you can see over here on the right-hand side, I've selected Gemini 3 Flash Preview. You can give it some system instructions. You can adjust the temperature. If you're dealing with images and content, you can specify the media resolution that you're looking for. You can also choose the thinking level. Again, this, by the way, AI Studio is more for developers. It's less on just the regular consumer-facing chatbot, but this is an advanced tool. So you can also deal with structured outputs and code execution. So if you wanted to actually write code and execute it, it can do this. And it'll also do a grounding with a regular Google search. So absolutely fantastic tool. Go play with it. Report back next week or the week after, and we'll see how far this model's taking us. Um, Also, this was this hit my feed. Pokemon. So they're having AI do Pokemon, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. I don't play Pokemon, so Gemini 3 Pro versus Gemini 2.5 Pro and Pokemon Crystal. Okay, cool. So the AIs are playing games for us. In other news, this was released from OpenAI just the other day. The new ChatGPT images is now here. So they've got all sorts of new functionality. I don't think it's much more of a higher quality model, but I think it's got better features in terms of its editing capabilities and it's faster. So combine the two men and the dog in a 2000 film camera style photo. This is spot on. One of the things that has come up recently is like, hey, we should be learning how to, train our own LoRa's, our low rank adapter models. And I don't think we need to. When Google released Nano Banana and the fact that, we could do exactly like what you see here, upload three images or of your product or the people and give it a prompt, and it's going to combine them. We no longer really, or do we really need to train a LoRa with these types of tools? And I question that. So here's the sweater. There it is. I mean, this is it. Sure, it's going to take a few prompts and a few iterations, but still, really, really fantastic. And they gave some examples here. So here's a photo of Sam Altman, create a vintage soda ad. Most of us are in advertising and media and entertainment, and here it is. So from photo prompt to the finished advertisement. Again, this is fantastic. Instructions, grid, text rendering, absolutely outstanding. Take a look at this, pound it, figure out where it works, figure out where it doesn't work. Stuff looks great. Congratulations to the folks over at OpenAI for kicking butt. I've yet to play with it. I know I've got homework to do. All right, moving on. The artificial analysis metrics, GPT image 1.5 achieves both number one in the text to image and image editing in their arena. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So, you give it a prompt, ask it to edit something, it does it, and it does it really, really nicely. Advertisers, beware, because this stuff is here. What else? Oh, political stuff. I gotta go there. Just so you guys know, whether you support the current administration or not, artificial intelligence is here. So the Trump administration has put forth an executive order to ensure a national policy framework for artificial intelligence. They want the current legislation and regulation that's being passed at the state level to be overridden by the federal level. And I gotta tell you, I kind of think that that's a good idea. As much as I'm for states' rights, when it comes to something like this, if there's 50 different laws that platforms have to address when it comes to deploying and training and using AI, it's just going to become impossible to actually do that. At the same time, we are in a global competitive landscape with China for AI. So this is I think, a better approach, and we'll have to navigate this. Also, again, so New York enacts a landmark AI laws requiring disclosure of synthetic performers in ads and consent for posthumous use of name, image, and likeness. Great, this is a good law, but it has to come at the federal level, in my not so humble opinion. So again, we'll see how this plays out. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this into the Zoom chat because I want to give folks some homework. You know how I love to do that. This is an important paper when it comes to from Stanford. Beyond DeepSeek, China's diverse open weights AI ecosystem and its policy implications. This is an important read. It talks about how we are facing China on this AI landscape. I would argue that in many ways, China has already won the AI race that we're in the middle of, even though our current state-of-the-art models are outperforming by an ever so slight margin the stuff that's coming out of China, but they've basically caught up with us at this point. And based off of their current improvement trends, I predict that within the next 6 months, we're going to see them pull ahead. And I will say that many of the models and the image gen models that we've talked about over the last several months in office hours, they're coming out of China, and they are vastly superior to the domestic models that we currently have. So it depends on these finer use cases that China is actually starting to push ahead from what we currently have domestically. So we'll see how this plays out, but it's fun to live through. But please read that. And then the other thing John Gata, you raise your hand. Go for it.
Todd, is China regulated the way we are?
No, they regulate differently.
How do they regulate?
I don't know, but they regulate differently. Um, when it comes to AI, like my understanding is, actually you're assigning me homework now. Like, what are the actual Chinese AI regulations? I don't know. But when it comes to competitiveness, they're right up against us. It's a great question. I now have to do homework and answer that, but I don't really know what their AI regulations are. I've been only focusing on domestic stuff and the fact that we are in a competitive landscape with China. Um,
It's interesting too. Like, I saw something this week about how China can build a hospital in 4 weeks.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they're doing
Exactly.
with
They
the AI.
have the ability because of their socioeconomic government system, they can pivot on a dime. If they say we want a data center built here starting tomorrow, guess what they're doing tomorrow? We
Yeah.
can't do that. We can't compete with this. And
It's
again, this is
actually
why,
I was wrong. I think originally it said they built it over the weekend.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that level of action and coordination is something that we don't really have in the West, and not just in the United States, but in many Western countries. Um, this is an advantage to the Chinese government, which is one of the check boxes of has China already won the AI race? We're just in the middle of it. John, you got your hand up.
Some people in Congress are fighting the building of data centers.
Yes, I know. I have that. I'll give me a second. I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
I thank you. No, you are love it when you guys come prepared.
The
Um,
smell, the smell of data centers.
the smell of a data center. It's like, oh
Yeah,
boy.
good.
Okay. Um, so when it comes to China, I still my hypothesis is that they've already won, and the reason they've already won, like if you want to look at this from a lens of the art of war, Sun Tzu, they've already set the chessboard in their favor. Now, so that no matter what any other country does, if they want to manufacture, if they want to innovate, they want to do something, they want to build out AI, they basically have it already built. They have the infrastructure. They can move faster than anybody else can in the world. So the next 100 years kind of belongs to China. The question that we in the United States specifically need to figure out is where do we want to fit in with that? And I lean towards freedom, quite honestly, and let the systems balance themselves out as they will. But we're in for some rapid change. We'll see how this plays out. All right, so the other piece of news, why is my screen not updating? There it is. Exclusive, how China built its Manhattan project to rival the West in AI chips. This is another important read from Reuters. In a nutshell, the Chinese have figured out how to build state-of-the-art chips without, NVIDIA's chips. Okay, they built their own. They got information from ASML. They hired former ASML engineers, and they're building their own prototype fab factory that is at the level of what TSMC does in Taiwan. This really puts a lot of stuff in play. Um, if all of a sudden China now has completely decoupled their entire ecosystem and supply chain away from the United States, away from the West, barring food and oil and in whatever minor stuff that China needs to import. I have to do some homework on what are the primary imports other than food and energy that China imports. That really changes the global playing field. And do our lead look, I know that our current leaders are aware of this. They're not stupid people. But how they choose to navigate it is going to be very, very interesting to see this play out. But whether you find this frustrating or disruptive or upsetting, I do believe that China's really well prepared to win this AI race. And we in the United States are going to have to make some really tough decisions really quickly in order for us to move forward. And again, that executive order that I mentioned earlier from Donald Trump, from President Trump, is in the right direction. Regardless of what you think of the administration, we need to address this as an entire community of people. Um, so what else did I want to mention about their Manhattan project? This is impressive. Like I'm not surprised. But yeah, it's only a matter of time before China can figure out how they can generate the chips, generate the algorithms, which they're currently doing. We talked about this in previous weeks, but that China has the electricity generation. Actually, let me pull this up. Excuse me while I'm coughing. Here we go. Oops, did I just lose my place? I think I lost my place, but we've talked about this slide for a while now, that China's electricity generation, again, it consists of oil, nuclear, whatever it is. They are outperforming the United States, and they've been doing so since the 2000s. This set them up so that they could win the future. They knew what they needed to do decades ago, and they made it happen. This is one of the benefits of living in their society, in their social, economic, political system. I'll go back a slide here. So this is what you were talking about. I just want to play a little bit of this. This is Bernie Sanders.
Thanks for joining me. Let us be clear.
Oh, whoops. Let me, I just realized I'm not sharing audio. We need to pay attention to this.
Thanks for joining me. Let us be clear. AI and robotics are the most transformative technologies in the history of humanity and will have a profound impact on the lives of every man, woman, and child in our country. Just a few points that we need to be thinking about. One, who is aggressively pushing these technologies? Well, surprise, surprise. It happens to be the very wealthiest people on earth, people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Bill Gates, and other multi-billionaires. So here's a very simple question I'd like you to think about. Do you believe that these guys, these multi-billionaires, are staying up nights worrying about what AI and robotics will do to the working families of our country and the world?
Yes. Yes, I do. I know for a fact that all of these multi-billionaires do in fact stay up late at night and they do worry about what's going to happen to the workforce in the United States and in the West. They are acutely aware of these problems. And I just think, I think Bernie's kind of lost the narrative here. I'm really disappointed in what his messaging is. And I support him. Like I vote Democrat. I'm really, really torn with this approach here because I just don't think that this is the right vision. I feel like Bernie might actually be missing a few pieces of information that are absolutely critical. One of which is how our society and our system of government actually works. We welcome to the age of Anno Intelligentiae. This is all new. And he goes on and please watch this video from him. He talks about no more jobs, which I agree with. And he also pushes to slow down AI and slowing down the development of data centers and the moratorium on the construction of data centers. This I don't really think is going to work. I think that this plays into an advantage to China that is really dangerous for the West and for us and Americans specifically. I don't think he's looking at the right data. We have a global economy. Yes, we're competing with China, and if we slow down, China will absolutely win, and democracy as we know it will have very little chance to move forward at that point. And again, I still think that China has already won on a certain time scale with a certain, certain chess moves. And to his point, like the only people and businesses in the United States who have the actual money to flat out pursue the financial risk of creating and training artificial intelligence. Well, those are the wealthy people. They are the billionaires. They are the big businesses. They are the Googles. Okay. They have the money and they also have business models that are well designed that have complementaries. So they make money over here and they can spend it over there and develop AI. And the other component is the government. The government also has the money to invest in developing AI. China, on the other hand, that's what they do is they spread the risk, and it's all about business risk. They spread the risk across the entire population of people. In capitalism, we don't do that. That's not how it works. The risk is borne by the shareholders. That's how we get billionaires, by the way. They took the risk. This is one of the reasons why I'm pushing an entrepreneurial mindset here. Take the risk, minimize the risk, and you become the beneficiary. You become the owner of those businesses. So, in order to develop AI, which takes billions and billions of dollars, trillions apparently, that money just doesn't come out of nowhere. So, if the United States is going to pay for it, government-wise, fine. Where are they going to get the money? We don't have that ability right now. So, I think that I understand what Bernie is going for. I just don't think he's looking at the right data. And the reality is AI decouples productivity from human labor. We've talked about this for years now, actually. This turns into a demand collapse problem. The demand for your labor and your knowledge goes away. And this is really uncomfortable for the working class. I get it. But that's where we are going. And we need to be aware of this. So yeah, I'm worried that the working class is gonna get wiped out, and that we could become serfs in Elon Musk's kingdom. That's a possibility. I'd prefer the labor-free utopia, and I'd prefer if we came up with new business models for people to do when AI is involved in doing all the knowledge work. I think that that's fine. And again, the future of work is entrepreneurship. So I know, Rhonda, you got your hand up.
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering. yeah, because we're a capitalist society, I kind of think that um, AI is to uh, the medieval period what land was to the kingdom, and
Yeah,
everybody else was serfs and peasants.
that's
So
exactly right.
right, but what's interesting about China is that because they're not a capitalist society, they're not worried about their working class because they'll probably find an easier way because of their mindset of how they deal with um, the public to take care of them in a more what's natural to that culture. Whereas in this culture, there isn't that kind of safety net
Correct.
within our government to set up for a society that will take care of that working class that's gone because it is in the hands of a few people. So I think on that level, China has the ability to outperform us and outweigh us because there's no conflict there.
Correct. And if there is a conflict, the conflict is internal and it's kind of dictated by the central government.
Right.
So,
And then the central
yeah,
government will take care of its people. It's not going to
correct.
let everybody sit and starve. Whereas in this society, we got people like Bernie Sanders is preaching to closing the barn door after the horse has left.
I love that analogy.
So like he's talking about nothing at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
And the people who are listening to him think he's talking about something, and he isn't.
yeah.
And if the Elon Musks and all those people are the ones that are investing in it, there's no protection for the middle class here.
No. The protection for the middle class is what keeps me it really stresses me out right now. And I don't see it. And I understand what Bernie's asking for. I get it. He's like, but I just don't think he's looking at this with the right data. I think that if he understood some of the larger mechanisms, and again, like he's a democratic socialist, I get it. I understand what he's asking for, but we don't survive. I don't think we survive if we implement the systems that he's talking about. Now, UBI, what is that? Well, that's like that. Bernie would be the first person to sign up for universal basic income. So we might need that. And I just think that that's going to happen, or if it's going to happen, it's going to be a band-aid. It's going to be people will get paid to do something. The question is, and we as the creatives, we as the designers, we as the entrepreneurs, please, we as the entrepreneurs, we need to imagine what that canvas looks like. It's a blank canvas right now. We need to figure out what colors go on that canvas to come up with a good art analogy.
But
What are those jobs, Rhonda? What are the
no,
jobs of the
no,
future?
here's the problem. The capitalists will be making the money, and then the government's going to have to pay to support the middle class with no money coming in. It is going to be the end of democracy.
It could. There's a possibility, and
It
that
is a very strong possibility because the capitalists are not going to take care of the middle class.
will. I
And the government, Bernie Sanders saying, yes, let the government take care of it. But if there's no income coming in,
correct.
how is the government going to take care of it? The capitalists will make their money, but the government can't support what the capitalists are doing,
Yeah,
even though they have to do it in order to compete with China.
and it's not even just to compete with China. It's also to keep the people from dying. No
Right.
one
So,
gets
like,
elected if the population is dying.
exactly. So, there really needs to be more cooperation,
Yes.
in my opinion, between the people who are investing in AI, who are the capitalists,
Yes.
and the government. There has to be a cause and effect that if you're going to take away these many jobs, then you might have to pay the government a certain amount of money so we can support these people.
Correct. And again, and Thomas put this in the Zoom chat, which is really insightful. The U.S. in the United States, ideology will stand in the way of any universal basic income implementation. We need to figure out, both Democrats and Republicans, because it's a two-party system. We really need to figure out how we're going to navigate this. And the good news is, I don't think we need to make any decisions right now because this is all hypothesis. We're all predicting the future, and everyone who predicts the future is wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong, but I just don't know where I'm wrong. So how we navigate this as a society is going to be really, really interesting. I think if you look at history, when things change quickly, people die. This is very grim. At the same time that I'm scared and I'm concerned, and how do we pull the rug out from underneath the society and put another one in at the same time rapidly? Well, rapidly might actually happen because if we can switch the system within a matter of weeks or months with a super intelligence, behind the scenes, this actually might work, okay? And then people don't die. And at the same time, I'm insanely excited. I'm insanely optimistic because now all of a sudden we can do anything. Use AI, ask it questions. Here's my problem. Help me go solve it. The opportunities that we all face are mind blowing. But here's the thing, it's not about jobs. It's not about jobs. One of the things that I think we've educated out of students is the creativity. We've taught them, you go to school, you study this thing, you'll get a job. Well, I really think that that's a mistake. I think we should be teaching students and adults, us, folks, go start a business, become an entrepreneur, go find a job, figure out, not a job, go find a problem, use AI, reduce your risk, solve the problem. And the opportunity is actually there. And if you solve a good enough problem, and there's always a problem, and there's always a problem that you can find to solve. That's my North Star. Anyway, I've spent a lot of time. So Rhonda, thank you. You're asking the right questions, Rhonda. Absolutely. All right, Bernie, love you, man. We're gonna move on. So I mentioned the total electricity generation in China. All right. So again, headlines. I mentioned this last week. Runway Gen 4.5 came out from Runway ML. Again, another one of the top state-of-the-art models. Just absolute incredible quality. Something hit when I was going through this, and I thought it was really, where did I put this? Oh, by the way, this is another model, GWM1, a state-of-the-art model built to interact with the real world. So they got their world model that they're building. Wait a second, did I not? Oh, I do have it. Oh, cool. This is from, if you use Runway ML, check this out. Actually, even if you don't use Runway ML, look at this prompt over here, this advanced technique. They give a description, and then they give the time code, I don't know what that is, timestamp. That's so cool. So I'm looking at you, Kevin, because I know you're here in the room and I know this is the kind of stuff that you would do. Try this on the video models because I want to know if this actually works.
I
I
was
think
screen grabbing when you were speaking.
you were screen grabbing. Here, I'll put this in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
This is just like, oh shit, there you go. Because one of the things that we keep talking about is, well, we can't get it to do what we want. Well, uh, you know,
Just be more specific.
Well, okay, A, be more specific. And is this the answer to being more specific? I love this. So we've talked about the JSON prompting. We've talked about the YAML prompting. Well, great. Hey, look at this notation. The time, it's not time code, it's a timestamp.
Yeah.
Holy moly, that's such a great idea. So now my next question would be, all right, try this in another video model that supports the JSON prompt format and see if you've got it.
Can
Because
you scroll down just a little bit so I can
no,
see the rest of the animation?
no,
Thanks.
cannot. Can't scroll.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So there's the zoom, crash zoom, black eye squint,
Hmm.
brow furrows.
Cool.
This is the direction I think that like the scene direction, a director would be directing their actors and actresses to get the action to occur in a specific time. I love this. This is such a great thing. So congratulations to Runway to figure that out. But I want to know what other models support that. I'm hoping LTX. Anyway, all right. We're not going to go through all of this just out of the time, but AWS reInvent was last week, or a month ago, or a few weeks ago. This is a list of their announcements, models, AI, agents, just new chips, their Trainium 3 servers. They're just, don't discount what Amazon's doing. They're not loud in what they do, but their impact is going to be massive. So, and I'm currently building off of Google Cloud Platform, and I have a slight trepidation that it might be better to build on Amazon. I don't know, but I'm kind of like in the moment with Google because they're kicking butt with Gemini. So way to go, Amazon. NVIDIA just released the Nematron 3 family of models. So, the architecture hybrid mixture of experts. So they've got these, they're comparing it to GPT OSS, Qwen 3, and their Nematron Nano model. So they're like, this is better. I did download this to run on my laptop. I have not yet played with this. We'll see how this goes. I've got too much to do this weekend, so I doubt I'm going to get a chance to really kick the tires. But again, more models. Pay a close attention to all of these new models that are coming out. This is their paper. It used a mixture of experts, hybrid Mamba transformer architecture to provide best-in-class throughput and context lengths of up to 1 million tokens. They have several models. The Super and Ultra are trained with this NVFP4 and incorporate a latent mixture of experts novel approach that improves model quality. Two larger models, what was the other? All Nematron 3 models are post-trained using multi-environment reinforcement learning. And it's the Nano model that I've downloaded, I want to play with. Outperforms comparable models in accuracy while remaining extremely cost efficient for inference. So yeah, good stuff. Way to go, NVIDIA. Thank you for releasing new technologies. Ooh, I do hate pop-ups. Goodbye. TechCrunch. Adobe Firefly now supports prompt-based video editing and adds more third-party models. So I'm looking at John Gata to look at this and tell me if this stuff actually works. I've not played with it. I just saw this hit my news feed. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I did upscale an image the other day with their Firefly. I didn't select the Topaz Labs. I should have, because the Firefly upres was not good at all. It distorted all the faces in the
Topaz is
photograph.
great.
Sorry, Topaz is great. I should
Yeah,
use
it's doing a
Topaz.
good job with what we're doing.
I just didn't want to spend tokens on Topaz, and I
Yeah,
shouldn't.
no,
I was
I have it in Weavy, so it's not that expensive. And we have a seat at where we're in the office
oh
of
cool
Topaz.
of Topaz. Yeah, so it is the state of the art model. So, but I want to know what they're doing with this prompt-based video editing. That we're gonna have to pay attention to that and see where that flies, because that could be really good. All right, Kriya announced WAN 2.6.
Ladies and gentlemen, the future is here. Introducing WAN 2.6.
So, way to go! Another video model for us to play with. Let me click this.
Man, I wish we had something to eat. I'm so tired of your food obsession.
Yeah, these things are just getting good. You can destroy them. You can their quality if you want, but I think it's still beautiful. This was an article that hit the New York Times. The starving artist versus AI. Guess who's winning? Yeah. This is all, I'm actually gonna put this into the Zoom chat. I think folks should read it. I think my biases. I think I wanted to point this out. It would be naive to think creative workers are playing on anything resembling a level playing field here, given the jaw-dropping sums being invested in AI and the extent to which tech giants have already transformed cultural production. The AI industry claims that it wants to democratize creativity, which we've talked about. But the real goal is dominance. And I don't know if I completely agree, but I can see the point here. It can seem inevitable that AI will rewrite the future of the arts, a natural consequence of the tool's technical and economic momentum. But the impacts of technological change are always shaped by human action. If we believe and behave as though AI dominance is a foregone conclusion, I do, we risk making it so. Instead, we should support the creative workers who are fighting for a different outcome and have already landed a few punches. The future of human creativity is inextricably linked to the future of creative labor. The sooner we recognize this, the better chance we have to preserve artists' livelihoods and human-made art itself. Let's not decide the fight is over simply because the odds are long. I think you all know that this is about jobs, and those jobs are going to be transformed or replaced or augmented. That's just the reality. So please read this. I think it's a good article that talks about, again, the artist, not the designer, not the creative. They're talking about artists' jobs. So I'm sorry, they're talking about the creatives. They're talking about the designers. But when it comes to fine art, I there's no problem here. Fine art is about
The
self-expression.
Creators Coalition on AI. This was sparked by Daniel Kwan of The Daniels, who made Everything Everywhere All at Once and who have produced a really great documentary about AI that's coming out next year. And a lot of us have rallied around Dan's vision to unite creators throughout the entertainment industry, but also the larger digital creator economy. This is not just going to be artists, it's going to be all the hardworking and highly skilled people who work around them. And it's not just going to be Hollywood legacy media people, but also the YouTubers, the social media content creators, the podcasters, the newsletter writers, really all creators. We're all frankly facing the same threat, not from generative AI as a technology, but from the unethical business practices a lot of the big AI companies are guilty of. And look, I've said this before, I actually think the tech itself is super exciting, super inspiring, could mean a lot for the future of art and creativity in a really good way, but that won't happen by itself. If we take the path of least resistance, things could get really bad, and not just for creators and the entertainment and the media industry, but for so many industries that are going to be so heavily impacted or already being heavily impacted by this technology. So the idea is that through public pressure, through collective action, through potentially litigation and eventually legislation, creators actually have a lot of power if we come together. And so look, this organization is new. We've been starting to work on it since the middle of this year. And today we're just announcing our existence. And we're sort of building the plane as we fly it. But for now, come to our site, the link's down there somewhere. Sign up, show your support. There's going to be opportunities even for volunteering and stuff in the future. There's much more to come. We built this for the long haul, but we're here and we're in the game. That's the important thing.
So creatorscoalitionai.com, and this is their website announcing the Creators Coalition on AI. I've not signed this petition. I have mixed feelings here. Technology should strengthen human creativity, not undermine it. Human creativity is not being undermined, in my opinion. Okay, it is being enhanced. It is being 10x'd right now. Some of the value of their jobs and their output is what's being affected here. So their goals, transparency, consent, and compensation for content and data. Okay, that's fine. Remember, China doesn't care about our intellectual property. So AI companies build their products out of vast troves of human works and personal data, often without getting permission or offering compensation. Why? Because training a model is considered fair use under copyright law. Forget about the morals for a second, but somebody built an algorithm that can learn from everything that humans have ever created. All right. And now training a model is just like learning. All people have a right to be compensated for the value they generate in the digital world. I agree. That's true. The value of what they have created in the past and what they are currently creating and what they will create in the future might have $0 associated with it. To operationalize this, we propose 4 criteria training models must meet: consent, controls, compensation, transparency, enforcement. And I like this. The consent. I'm all about consent. This is important. Can you please give us permission to use your likeness? Yes, that is a law that we must have. All right. Job protection and transition plans. We recognize that, as with every technological revolution of the past, job loss is inevitable. That said, the speed and scale of AI-driven disruption is unprecedented and risks accelerating global wealth inequality to levels unseen in modern history. In the United States, I completely agree with this. We've just talked about that. Many workers in the traditional media industry have no ownership of the content they helped create, and they never could have anticipated their work being used in ways that would render their jobs obsolete. Okay? Sounds like a Luddite. As an industry built on human creativity, we have a duty to protect vulnerable workers and create the conditions that ensure creative labor remains valued, viable, and attractive to future talent. Are you sure? Is that a valid statement in the age of AI? in the age of intelligence? Though we cannot single-handedly solve the societal challenges of automation, we can be a model for responsible transition and visionaries for what the future of work can look like. The future of work is not this. The future of work is entrepreneurship. The future of work is we need to invent some new transformation effects jobs. One of my favorites is people hanging out with other people. Let's go get paid to hang out with people. And the most people that we meet, more people we meet, the more money we make. Maybe that works. I don't know. So guardrails against misuse and deepfakes. Oh, I'm all for this. This makes total sense to me. People should be punished if they create a deepfake without consent of a person's likeness. I'm all for that. Safeguarding humanity in the creative process. We are facing the industrialization of creativity. Yes, for 3 years I've been talking about this. The marginal cost of creativity is $0. Creativity is not just for self-expression. I agree. That's what fine artists do. It is how societies innovate and progress. This is why capitalism up until now has really worked quite well. Storytelling is not just entertainment, it is how we transmit values, empathy, and meaning. I love this. What happens when we relinquish humanity's most ancient and fundamental capacities to machines at scale? Good question. Love that question. We've talked about this. As creators and storytellers, we must steward this transition by protecting craft and creativity to guard against far-reaching damage that automated storytelling and hyper-individualized consumption could inflict on the societal and moral fabric that binds us. That is a bold, bold statement. I don't agree with all of it. And the reason I don't agree with this is because self-expression is about fine art. The expectation of making money as an artist or a creative or as an actor or actress is about a value chain. What is the value that you create for the work that you do, and what risk did you take as an entrepreneur to make that expression? Usually actors and actresses, there's a gatekeeping process. They're usually very attractive. They're very talented, but there's a lot of starving, actors and actresses out there who are waiters and waitresses. There are a lot of starving artists. So a lot of this has to do with the risk and the entrepreneurship and the business model that we're talking about here. So I have yet to sign this. There's a lot of people on here. I think they built some AI to automatically update their website because I feel like this list is growing constantly. Kudos to the people who are signing this. I just haven't yet gotten myself to the point where I can sign this. I just, and I'm torn here. I'm absolutely torn with this, and I'll rely on you guys in overtime to kind of coach me through how to navigate this. But I don't know. So my response to this is AI isn't stealing your work. It's collapsing the scarcity that made your work valuable in the first place. Capitalism wasn't built to protect you from that. That's my advice. That's my response to this petition. And I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but that's just Bernie Sanders. This is where we live right now. And I understand you're representing the workforce and the labor, but how do we navigate this? I don't know. And I feel like the designers and creatives and the actors and actresses are going to be in a lot of trouble. That's what I'm afraid of. Anyway, moving on. Meta released a SAM audio model that transforms audio editing. This was actually kind of cool.
Introducing SAM Audio, a state-of-the-art model for isolating sounds in music, speech, and general sounds. Separate audio with text prompts.
So they built a model that can extract the stems from the audio, which is really impressive.
Hey, I'm in the cafe right now. Just wanted to call you because I finished the project and I'm going to send it to you tonight. Anyways.
Great way to go, Meta. You can download Sam Audio and explore its capabilities in their playground right now. So congratulations to those guys. Rumors were sparking all over the place that Google's Gemma 4 was supposed to be released today. It didn't happen, but keep an eye out for that next model. I think that'll compete with the Nematron models, the GPT OSSs. They did release Function Gemma, which is a super small model, 270 million parameter, that for function calling to edge devices. So like, your laptop, your phones, just for function calling. So this is for developers. I think it would be.
Todd, how do you, basically you said it's super small model. How do you gauge that?
Oh, the number of parameters, 270 million.
What's a big model?
Oh, trillions, billions.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, absolutely. Like how, it's the size of the model. Um, yeah, number of parameters. What was this? Oh, I scrolled down. Sorry. Byte Plus, out of China unveils Seed Dance 1.5 Pro, a new standard for synchronized cinematic AI video creation. Um, uh, uh, another really good model. Oh wait, I had it over here. Here it is.
Wait, sound doesn't follow anymore, but it born together.
Oye, es eso. Yes, C-Dance 1.5 Pro is already out.
Jindama!
Move!
So cool. This is just so cool.
C-Dance 1.5 Pro is ready. Are you?
Okay, now I think we're not completely crossing the uncanny valley here for some of these things, but it's pretty good. What was the other one? There was another shot earlier on. This, like, that's really good. You even have like the little hairs. I mean, that's just insane.
Wait.
It was stuttering because my YouTube playback is crap, but yeah, great stuff. Again, coming out of China. This was their paper, Native Audio Visual Joint Generation Foundation Model. Comfy UI released an update called Simple Mode. Might make the tool better. Again, Comfy UI is like one of the original generative AI node-based systems, but they have added some features to redesign their user interface. And they also added a Comfy UI manager, so you can manage models a little bit easier. It might actually be worth, okay, now let's start taking a look at Comfy UI. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that Ferdos joined, so I have to say hello to Ferdos. So Comfy UI also has this real-time LoRa toolkit. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's like, well, why do I need a LoRa if I've got Nano Banana or GPT Image 1.5? I could just upload images of the reference and then prompt away. There are still use cases for LoRa's. So again, the number one is the subject consistency, because you're training with hyper amounts of data on a specific character, so then you could use it in different prompts, different models, different shots, different angles. So there's still a reason. This was from Ethan Malik, one of my heroes. He posted an update to his chart, shifting frontier of AI model performance and cost. So you're getting the lower cost on the right-hand side. Okay. And then their GPQA diamond score on the top here, and Gemini 3 thinking, GPT 5.2 thinking, Gemini 3 Flash. So we're looking at really smart models for very little money. Oh, and just because I love pointing this out, here's the human PhD range. So we're dealing with models that are smarter than humans. What are we talking about, folks? Also, earlier today, Sam Altman from OpenAI announced GPT 5.2 codecs. So if you are a coder, because I'm using Cursor, and I was like playing with Gemini Flash earlier, I was like, oh, this is great. And now I've got GPT 5.2 codecs to play with. So now I'm back to I don't know which model to check or use, but that'll be fun. That's my weekend homework, actually, is I've got some stuff I need to develop. In the age of AI, what was this? Zara, the fashion company, turns to AI to generate fashion imagery using real-life models. This is awesome. I love seeing companies that are experimenting with this stuff. Also, Jeep did the same thing. I didn't even notice this.
Winter has finally arrived, and if you have a classic or a sports car...
No, hold on. That's not it. This is it. They've done some videos with... Where is it? Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the new Jeep Grand Cherokee.
I love the vibe in here. It's so bougie and leathery. What are your thoughts?
So we've gone a long way from like talking animals that we did decades ago in Flame, that took, hundreds of thousands of dollars and months to do. And now AI does this in a prompt. I just think it's fantastic. So I love seeing these types of experiments. And again, the fact that they're animals, and I think that I mean, we'll see what the pushback is going to be on this, but hopefully it's successful. All right. What else? Sharp monocular view synthesis in less than a second. Check this out. Where is this? Is this? Yeah. These cool little tools. Again, keep track of the papers and the new algorithms and new things that keep coming out. Hunyuan world model open source. Let me hit play here. So again, these world models where you upload an image or you give it a prompt and it can create this interactive space that you can move around. This is a video of it. I think that's it. What else? Real-time triggered events. Oh, what happened? My bad. Cool. Way to go. More world models. Pause. Okay. What else is there? Turbo diffusion. This is a tool that was this is on a RTX 5090, so a PC-based graphics card that is increasing the speed of generating video. And what caught my eye here was the original was 184 seconds. The turbo diffusion was 1.9 seconds. So again, pay attention to these new techniques, these new tools, these new models, because this is really freaking important. Over time, these techniques get incorporated by the industry leaders, and we get better, faster, cheaper, safer, rapidly. But that is a huge jump, huge. That's insane. That's disruption right there. Love it. Absolutely incredible. Spatial AI. SPAI, Shield. I don't know how to pronounce that. Introducing Echo, our first spatial foundation model. I think there was a demo here. Yeah, cozy bedroom. I can view it in 3D. Another world model. Gives us a second to render. I'm wondering if I can move around it. Still rendering it, but once it fully renders, it looks much better. So you can pivot around the model. I think. Keep going. Keep going. There's the door. Cool. There was a bunch of these. Worthy of taking a look at. Beautiful. Incredible. Use your mouse to touch or rotate and zoom the 3D model. Fantastic. All right, enough of that. Moving on to the next piece of news. Adobe Firefly improves AI video creation with new tools, new models, and unlimited generations for a period of time. So yes, I'm looking at you, John Gata. Tell me if this is worth any of our time, but it looks good. Remove the person on the left side of the frame, change camera angle, bird's eye view. They've got features, they got functionality. Good stuff. And the video editing. John.
It is because they give you models from everybody. There's Fluxes in there, Black Labs is in there, Adobe Firefly, which really sucks, and now Banana 3 and 2.5.
Love it. Awesome.
They are constantly upgrading this platform.
I'm glad. If they don't, they're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, the other thing that I noticed here was from now until January 15th, customers on Firefly Pro, Premium, 7,000 credit and 50,000 credit plans get unlimited image and video generations in the Adobe Firefly app. So does this include Creative Cloud? Like if I'm a Creative Cloud subscriber, am I on Firefly Pro? Does anybody know?
No, you have to upgrade to Firefly Pro.
So I have to pay. I'm not paying. All right. I wasn't sure. Thank you. And this was, I get the other post from Topaz Labs. All right. Kling 2.6 with voice control.
Majesty, within this palace, your voice is unparalleled. But beyond these walls, there are still more enchanting voices in the world.
What? Let me hear those voices, all of them!
This is an elf voice. 这是天使的声音. This is a princess's voice.
This is a mermaid's voice. Enough. I want them all. I will take them all!
That's good. That's really good. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how they prompted that, but that's really good. Kling 2.6 with voice control, and the lip sync was spot on. Now imagine that at scale, and you're not making one commercial, you're making a million commercials. People that's the solution right there. I really impressive. Descartes AI, Meet Lucy Motion, an image to video model with precise control over motion. This was cool. So if you need to direct the action from an image, you can do that. And this was, I didn't sign up for it, but their little example. That's the prompt. Lucy input motion example JPEG. Absolutely fantastic. Good technology. I didn't go through the demo, but I don't know if you can do this. Let's see if it works. It might take forever. I think I want to come back to that. Remind me, we'll come back to that. See if it works. Microsoft Trellis 2 native and compact structured latents for 3D generation. If you make 3D models for games or movies, pay attention, folks. I've got friends who are modelers for a living. This is important that people pay attention to. That's the prompt. That's the input. That's the model it created. I hope people understand what we're talking about here. If this is your job, if this is your role, if this is what you do, how do you navigate this? It's really important that folks pay attention to this. And if you're in school right now and you're learning 3D modeling in Maya or Blender, pay attention to this. Because if you want to get a job doing that, are you sure that that job is going to exist when you graduate? Just pay attention to it. Figure out how to use this stuff. Figure out how to navigate this. That's my advice. That's beautiful. Wait a second, they did the motor? Dara, I'm looking at you. Okay, that I'm gonna have to look at that one. Anyway, so Microsoft, thank you for changing the world. And so this was their demo on Hugging Face. Let's do the tree. Generate. I don't know if it's gonna work. Live demos are always scary to me. Needs a few seconds. Come on. I feel like they should pre-compute these demos and just cache them. There it is. And then, okay, so that's the image. How do I use this? Extract? Oh, I got to extract it. Okay. Probably could have reduced that. 2048 texture size? That's big enough, I guess, for game. 46 seconds estimated. Cool tools. That's all I got. But I remember having to spend hours and hours and days and weeks to build assets for games and VFX and whatnot. There it is. Look at that. Come on. Come on. If you had to model that, nope, you're not. You're not modeling that. And again, it's low res. It's not it's not perfect as a human could do. That took seconds. Was that good enough? Yeah, that was good enough. Pay attention. Oh, what else is there? Okay, Kling. So this is their Kling Video 2.6, but they did this. Here's I'm assuming this is the actual live action, and then just the transfer to the full body video. I no longer need motion capture, so great stuff. Hunyuan 3D 3.0 is also on FAL. So again, if you texturing, geometry, another model on their platform that's available. So sketches to 3D. Go play with it. Enjoy it. What was this? Oh, CapCut has their Seed Dance 1.5 Pro model, next level AI. So if you can download, and apparently this is available in CapCut. I wasn't completely sure about that and what the number of credits or how that payment is, and I don't know what. Again, it's CapCut, so I don't know what the privacy use is. If they're going to learn from all of your stuff that you're uploading and editing and video, I don't know. I have to look into that. But they have this free AI video generator that's built into their tool. So kudos on China and CapCut for releasing state-of-the-art models so that creatives can work and not have to pay for them. How do you navigate that business model? Black Forest Labs, Kevin, thanks for coming, man. Released Flux 2 Max the other day or today. I don't remember when, but this was really another state-of-the-art, beautiful tool. Food, Freebird, just good stuff. Congratulations from Black Forest. They are kicking butt. Highest quality boarding pass coffee. Again, they've got the two reference images, and that's what they did. Look at that. Look at that. And that's the prompt. Beautiful. Oops. Next, moving on. Nano Banana Pro for sneakers. Beautiful. Let's go through this. EgoX, egocentric video generation from a single exocentric video. This is cool. So this is the source input, and this is the result. So you get this fisheye-like view. I thought this was absolutely fantastic to look at. So imagine seeing from the point of view of the actor or the action POV shot. Beautiful stuff. What else? Play 4D out of NVIDIA. Accelerated interactive free viewport video streaming for virtual reality and light field displays. iScene 3D, 3D instance models are implicit generalizable spatial learners. Bunch of visualization examples. This is theirs. Exploring MLLM diffusion information transfer with Meta Canvas. I forget why this was important, but here's the reference image, the prompt, and that's the generated video. Beautiful techniques. Starcaster spatio-temporal auto-regressive video diffusion for identity and view-aware talking portraits. So we got the talking portraits. Again, I have problems with this.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and fury.
They didn't give permission to use that, but there they are. LVT, large-scale scene reconstruction via local view transformers. This is beautiful stuff. Much higher quality. Awesome. What else was there? This was IC Effect, precise and efficient video effects editing via in-context learning. So they're doing the VFX for you. Imagine this in Flame or DaVinci. You just prompt and it gives you the effect that you're looking for. This is where we're going. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Arcway, design, visualize, and sell homes in real time. There you go. So upload some stuff for your home, and then your potential buyer can pre-visualize exactly what they want it to look like. This is awesome. I have a sneaky suspicion that a bunch of real estate people are going to really want to engage with Arcway. Good idea. Home builders as well. Exa AI, this hit my feed. Introducing X's people search benchmarks. Where did they get the data? Like, did they scrape LinkedIn for this? I'm concerned. Flora, reshoot your video without reshooting. So LTX2 has a retake model. which I think we mentioned previously. I hope we did. And this is really interesting where you can just prompt and you'll get these, these second, third takes. Beautiful stuff. And it's now in Flora. Here's LTX Studio, retake, redirect any shot without starting over. Really smart. Something worth looking at if you use LTX. But it's a good model. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely incredible. What else is there? Qwen image layered. We talked a couple weeks ago about there was a model that you upload an image and it would extract it into the different Photoshop layers. Great. So that's catching on. So they have this is being incorporated into a model for Qwen image. Great stuff. Exactly what we expect to see. This was a cool prompt share process. And this person did a really good job at this on this spot. Something I thought people would be interested in seeing how they built it. Good stuff. What else? Nana Banana, just prompt to a book. That's correct. All right, 2-page spread. Looks good. High quality. Great stuff. AI lip sync. This is C Dance Pro that we mentioned earlier. I'm going to skip this. Keep moving. What was this? Another awesome spot in AI. A bunch of tools here to generate this. I'll put the link in the on the website. Oh, I mentioned Nematron already. Oops, what happened here? This was a paper or a post on a comparison of large language models. So if you are into LLMs and this excites you, this is a great brief on the different architectures of each of these models. So I highly suggest reading that if you're into that. An article from MIT Technology Review on the AI bubble. Mimo version 2 Flash is another relatively small model. Actually, no, wait, this is not the small model, is it? I forget. Yeah, no, this is a big one. 309 billion. Comparisons out of China. Good stuff. This one is the small model. This is BU 30 billion. This is a browser model, which is, I think, going to be really interesting. There's a bunch of tools now that are available for browser use. So an AI browser agent. Epoch AI was doing some experiments to do some predictions on the future. So, we're here right now. But here's that elbow that we keep looking for. Where are we going with this stuff? What's gonna trigger that acceleration? I'm glad that they're doing that research. Quen Long L 1.5 post-training recipe for long context reasoning and memory management. Again, more models, more things, comparisons. Pay attention to the at least in passing, this massive amount of new models that are coming out that fix these small little things. They prove that something works, some new technique that makes it bigger, better, faster, cheaper. And then you'll start to see this incorporated in the larger models very quickly. Mistral, we mentioned that they had their new models released the other week, and they also released OCR3. So if you have some old text, you now have the optical character recognition. And I also saw that the Gemini Flash 3 is also good at OCR, I believe. So great stuff. So if you've got text and you need to convert it, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Wonder how big this is. I didn't pay attention to that. $2 per 1,000 pages. Not bad. Oregon, the agentic operating system. So another platform that's popped up with nice, interesting graphical user interfaces so that you could wire up pipelines and stuff like that. I'm still thinking N8N is the market leader, or at least one of the market leaders, but we'll see. Anthropic, this was interesting. They had this project called Claudius, where they built an AI machine to sell stuff in their offices. This was an analysis of how it's going and the mistakes that they discovered and what they're doing for the next phase. AI UC1 is the world's first AI agent standard. This is actually really interesting. So a bunch of researchers are coming up with how do we manage and monitor and understand what these different agents are capable of doing so we can get certified that these are compliant. Great, we need this. Evaluating Gemini robotics policies in a VO world simulator. Again, Gemini, DeepMind, Google DeepMind was talking about simulations for robots. This is perfect. This was how a good talk on how AI will affect education from Anthropic. I think that we should be requiring teachers to use AI and requiring students to use AI. So good stuff there. My weird, strange attraction to Waymo. They're doing really well. 127 million fully autonomous miles through September. That's awesome. Congratulations, Waymo. One of these days I'll get an opportunity to ride in one. Cannot wait. 2025 Physicians AI Report. This is important to take a look at how doctors should be using AI or not using AI. I think they should be using AI. So a good paper there. Actually, I'll put this into the Zoom chat so people have this readily available. Folks might find that interesting. Rounding this up, we're almost done. Yes, I hate pop-ups. What was this about Disney? Disney's OpenAI deal is exclusive for just 1 year. We mentioned the other week that Disney invested $1 billion in OpenAI and allowed them to use their characters and content for Sora, which is exciting, but it's only a 1 year deal. And then after that, Disney is allowed to go with other companies. I'm going to assign some homework for people. I'll put this into the Zoom chat. This is Joshua Bengio, an interview on the Diary of the CEO. This is fantastic. He talks about all of these important topics that we keep debating in class and in office hours. So I highly recommend that.
PT came out.
Play. And then another one from Mustafa Soliman from Microsoft with Peter Diamandis. These are some of my heroes. All of these people they're just really smart. They're talking about the right stuff. They get it. They understand it. Watch these things. I think we're going to be okay. All right, rounding it up. Tech layoffs tracker. Verizon in November. So we're okay there. I had some other stuff about AI and layoffs from the Wall Street Journal. White collar workers see their security slip away. That's just a continuation for decades. U.S. economy flashes warning signs and new data, some analysts say. This was the Bureau of Labor Statistics jobs report that just came out. What was it? Unemployment rate at 4.6%, little change since September. So it's mixed reviews. And that is it. I will end it there. Thank you all for coming to my office hours. I'm going to stick around for some overtime. I will stop the recording, and I will see you in 2 weeks because next week is Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. And I love you all. Thank you all for coming.